Is it an earthquake? Know what to do. When will the next earthquake occur? Nobody knows. But honestly, a common prayer that we pray is just to be in the right place at the right time. God leads our steps. In his heart, a man plans his course, but the Lord determines our steps. And I've just heard so many testimonies, even from tsunami and earthquake stories, of how God gave somebody an idea to take a vacation at a certain time or to move the whole church service outdoors to the park. Many different stories of God's leadership and protection during really significant events, including earthquakes. I think that just praying to be in the right place at the right time and listening to his voice, surrendering to his plans and ways, leads to peace, and we can trust him. But I want to talk about some specifics about earthquakes. There are signs of an earthquake. The floor starts to shake, the windows rattle, you might have difficulty standing up or feel dizzy. The lamps or furniture can begin to sway. Furniture can even glide across the floor. Oftentimes, you'll hear a loud sound or a boom. So if you feel this, or if you receive an alert on your phone, we'll talk more about that in a minute, you need to immediately try to move to a safe place. But at the same time, there's these common phrases and kind of process that people go through in an earthquake, because the first thing is everyone's confused. Before you figure out what's happening, it's nearly over. So the first phase that people go through is confusion. And then suddenly there's this realization, oh, it's an earthquake. And then you got to take action. The best thing is to try to get outside if that's possible. And if it's not possible, then you want to move to the safest space possible. In Israel, there's an earthquake alert through the Homefront Command app, and it literally sends you a text and sounds this sound. It actually sounds a lot like a missile siren, but it goes, "Rrr," and then it says earthquake in whatever language you have your app set to, and then it gives you some instruction. And in America, they have also an emergency notification system, and it is called ShakeAlert. And it's only in California, Washington, and Oregon because they're the most prone to earthquakes. But both of these systems will alert you just a few seconds early. And honestly, every second counts when it's an earthquake. If you can get your grab and go bag or grab the kids and be out the door to an open area, this can save lives. So definitely register for these apps that help provide alerts for earthquakes. Let's say that you're indoors and you're unable to get outside. What should you do? So obviously the plan A is to get outside. You do not run, you take your grab and go bag with you. But if you're indoors and you can't go out, your mamad or protected space in your home, this would be the plan. You drop low, you may even need to crawl, and you move to your protected space. You leave the door and the window open, because in the event that something shifts, this will help responders get to you more easily. If you have a stairwell in your building or home, this is a more fortified area within the apartment building or home. So if you do not have a protected space or safe room in your home, you want to move to the stairwell. If you don't have stairs, you would minimally want to move to an interior room of your home in an interior corner, and potentially even cover yourself with heavy furniture. You want to stay away from glass, tile, heavy items that could fall. Okay, let's say you're outdoors, or you do get outdoors. You hear the siren or you feel the shaking and you're able to get outdoors. Where do you go? First of all, you want to find an open area and look to see, is there anything that could fall? Buildings, trees, utility poles, electrical cables. You want to get to an open space that's free of those things if possible. If you're driving in your vehicle, you want to pull over to the side of the road, set the emergency brake, and stay in the vehicle. You also want to note signs and escape routes. I'm sure you've seen it on highways traveling at different places. It'll say tsunami route or other things. So pay attention to those signs as you're traveling. But when you stop the vehicle, you definitely do not want to stop near an intersection or tall buildings or a steep slope on the side of the road or underneath an overpass, power lines, bridges. You want to, again, find as open areas as possible. If you're at the beach, you want to get at least a kilometer away from the water and as high as possible. What not to do in an earthquake? Do not run. You want to drop, you want to cover, and you want to move quickly to where you need to be. Back in the day, they used to stand in the doorway. They don't recommend this anymore. They also say do not call. This is not the time where you pick up the phone. I know you'll be tempted to, but in any disaster, phone lines are overwhelmed. So you have a better chance at getting texts through. So they say do not call, try to text. And lastly, do not call emergency services unless it's a legit dire need, because everything's overwhelmed, especially in an earthquake. These are things you shouldn't do. And specific to Israel, and only in Israel, what to do if there's an earthquake and a missile siren at the same time. If possible, you are to leave the building and get to an open space, get on the ground, and hold your hands over your head. If you're unable to leave the building, then you would want to go to the mamad, or your protected space. They say to close the window, but leave the door open. And then, of course, don't sit across from the open door. This is so that it mitigates the response from a missile, but also allows the opportunity for rescuers to come in to rescue you if there's an earthquake. If there's no mamad, go to the stairwell. And if none of these are possible, go to an internal room, sit in the corner, and cover your head if possible. Again, only God can keep us in perfect peace. He says in his word that he will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is steadfast because he trusts in him. A lot of people don't prepare for crisis because it stirs up fear. But if we can use this as an invitation and an opportunity to really walk with God and let him lead us step by step as we prepare our hearts, not only our homes, but our hearts, to be ready for these things, he will do it. And it is possible to walk in peace with him and make really powerful plans for our family.